Hello, Eleanor. This is one of her favorite spots to hang out. It's on a table overlooking the living room and the front window. Her big... Oh, okay, I won't rub your belly. All right. All right, cutie pie. Ah, got your belly. Whoop. Say hi to your friends. They haven't seen you for a while. Oh, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Buddy, the basket is right there. It's much more comfortable than that spot. Oh, stop bothering me, Dad. I know. I know I treat you so badly. Yeah. Hello, Eleanor. You can't see it, but her tail is going. We're just settling in for a little nap. Buddy is just hanging out in the window. I think looking at my neighbors who are leaving. They're moving. I'll tell you more about that later, but he's enjoying watching the parade of people walking out of the garage with boxes. I'm outside watering the plants, and Eleanor saw me moving around out here, and she's looking like, what are you doing out there? Oh, I feel bad leaving her. But I had to come out here and water this little rose bush that is struggling to survive in the Las Vegas heat. I have that right above Claire's little stone. She's not buried here, obviously, but that was a gift from a subscriber, L. And I water this giant monstrosity. It is, it's aloe, but it's in a huge pot that is obscured by its growth. It's huge, but I have to water that, otherwise it gets kind of sad. This is my first time leaving the house in like 3 days to water plants, and I have to go get something to eat, and there's no food in the house, so let's get out of here somewhere. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, let's try this thing. Oh, I wish I were filming that. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. It is 3:17 in the morning. I can't share you with you the thought I just had because it was totally a little too colorful for YouTube. But hey there, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. It is 3:17 in the afternoon on October 1st. That makes it Vlogtober. Yes, I am doing Vlogtober. Excuse me. If I do a lot of clearing my chest or my cough a little bit, it's because I've spent almost a solid week at home with the cats. And I am allergic to cats. So like a week with them, nothing has stopped me from getting a little congested. But I apologize. Yeah, it's Vlogtober. In my last video, almost 2 weeks ago, I know it's been a long time. I asked you guys if I should do Vlogtober, and it was a very strong, resounding yes. So I was on the fence because I wasn't sure if you really wanted to watch it or if it'd be worth doing. But the response was pretty strong. I love doing Vlogtober and Vlogmas because I get to talk about myself all the time I'm kidding. What it does for me, Vlogtober and Vlogmas, what it really does for me is forces me to be conscious in my life. Because I can quite easily become a turtle. My head just goes down, I go into my shell, and I move through my life without really witnessing a lot of really magical things around me. So even if I don't see a lot of magical things during Vlogtober, I'm aware of my world. In a more, I see things more when I'm looking for them rather than just kind of walking down, So we'll see what happens during Vlogtober. I can't promise I'm going to film something every single day because there might be a day that just nothing's happening, but like I'm doing laundry, so. And I don't pre-film videos to schedule them for certain days because that just feels very synthetic to me. It doesn't feel very genuine. So let's see. I am in the parking lot of a Goodwill and a Black Bear Diner. I'm going to Black Bear Diner. I might walk into Goodwill. It's been I don't know how long it's been since I've walked into a Goodwill. A couple weeks. What used to be an obsession has just kind of passed. I don't know what's going on. I got so much stuff in my house I have to sell. There's really no reason to walk in to Goodwill, but I might pop in there just in case. Let's see. I have been craving Black Bear Diner like nuts. I met with my cousin Heidi. I don't know if she's actually a cousin. She is the daughter, I believe she's the daughter of my mother's cousin. I think, I don't know what that makes her. A second cousin, first cousin, whatever. But we're cousins. And we met like a week and a half ago for lunch. Brunch at Black Bear Diner over in Henderson. And it was so nice. I don't have a lot of people in my life. I have cats. I don't have a lot of people in my life, so it was nice to go to brunch. It was nice. And I've been craving it since. I stopped here about 3 days ago, which is the last time I left the house. I'll tell you. And there were 4 cars that had their side windows smashed. All 4 of them were tinted or had been tinted. So I'm not sure if someone was trying to just be crazy like that homeless person was in my last video and just smashing tinted windows, or if someone was trying to look in cars for valuables. I couldn't see, I don't know, but it was weird. All 4 of them had heavily tinted windows, but the glass was all over the parking lot, and I don't know how recent the vandalism was, so I decided not to stay there that day. So I'm back at Black Bear Diner to have some lunch if it's not too busy. I don't see a lot of cars over there. I'm not even parking nearby because I don't want even, yeah. Let's see, what else I want to tell you before I go to eat. I haven't eaten or had anything to drink all day, and I'm not fasting. I just woke up super early. Eleanor wanted her treats very early this morning. And when Eleanor wants her treats and I'm asleep, she walks up right next to my ear and goes, she doesn't meow. Buddy meows, and you know, because he talks all the time. Never stops. But Eleanor never learned to meow. She just goes, it sounds like an old lady clearing her throat. But that's her saying she wanted her treats. So woke up. I didn't get to sleep till probably 2 o'clock in the morning playing Starfield. So gave her her treats, gave Buddy some treats, and tried to get back to sleep unsuccessfully. So about 11 o'clock this morning, I took a nap. I mean, I had an exhausting morning of cuddling cats and playing video games. I needed a nap. So I lay down for a couple hours, and I think I showed you Buddy. He was in the window, wagging his little tail, and he was watching my neighbors, a little parade of my neighbors moving back and forth between the garage and the dumpster and a couple vehicles with boxes. And then I saw like pots and pans, and I saw everything. I was like, wow, are they moving? Huh. Turns out I got a text from my neighbor. They're being evicted. Now, there's a word called schadenfreude, and it's we all experience it. You see someone trip and fall. You watch that video of a skateboarder falling off a flight of stairs, whatever, and you giggle. It's finding humor in someone else's misfortune, and you're not being mean about it, but sometimes you just can't help laughing when someone trips, right? Well, so I feel bad because I've never been evicted, but I can only imagine it must be a really stressful experience. It must be unfortunate. And the position you're in to become evicted can't be fun, right? Especially when you have kids. Well, I'm also kind of relieved at the same time. This is how I felt about that homeless woman, vandalizing with spray paint my house. Like, I feel bad, but I also get really mad because, it's my house. I've not mentioned my neighbors very often because if I start talking about them, I become very uncivil. They're not, I'm sure they're nice people. But I hate them. I hate them. Have you ever seen the movie Clue, the board game? There was a movie back in the 80s. Madeline Kahn plays Ms. Scarlett. Tim Curry better known for Rocky Horror Picture Show and the movie It. He plays the butler, and it's a fantastic movie. Madeline Kahn at one point talking about the maid who was a hired prostitute at one point, but she was flirting with her, having a relationship with her husband. Watch the movie. It's very, very fun. But at one point she's saying how much she hates the maid. She's like, flames. I really dislike my neighbors, and I am sorry they're being evicted, but I also celebrate it a little bit. So I feel bad, but I also feel very happy because they're horrible, horrible neighbors. Music non-stop, which is actually a song by Kraftwerk. I haven't eaten. Have I told you that? Yeah, music non-stop. It's a song from the 80s by a German group called Kraftwerk that I love. But they're playing music constantly, and it's like the walls are vibrating to this Latino, I don't know the genre of music, mariachi music, something. Da, 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 da. And it's just, they're just horrible neighbors. They're blocking everyone's garages. It turns out my neighbor directly across from them, his garage has been impacted by my neighbor across the way who's been trying to fix the same broken car for 2 years, and all these fluids and all these oils and all this stuff, they wash them out of their garage and it goes downhill into his garage. Rude. They're just constantly rude, incredibly rude. They're being evicted. My neighbor sent me a text saying, great news, your neighbors are being evicted. It's not great to see someone being evicted, especially with children. And in Vegas, the cost of renting a place has skyrocketed. So I feel bad, but I'm also kind of relieved. I just feel like a bad person for saying that. But that's what Buddy was watching earlier today. So it kept him busy, so it would let me sleep for a little while without him. Meow, 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 meow. All right, so I think I mentioned earlier I have not eaten yet. I think I probably mentioned it a few times. So I need to stop talking and to start feeding my face. Let's walk over there and see if it's not too busy. Is there something else that's going to happen today? I don't know. We'll find out together. All right, I'll see you soon. I thought it was going to be slamming, but it's very quiet, so I got the chance to eat something. I'm very excited. Hi there, how are you? Great. Look at that beautiful breakfast. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, in the battle of Steven versus the Black Bear Diner breakfast, Steven wins. Oh, that was delicious, but I am overstuffed. Now that I've eaten and feel like a human being, I'm going to walk into Goodwill real quick. Just poke around. I have no great hopes or expectations. And then I'll tell you about my vacation. As it is. Now, there was nothing in Goodwill. There was garbage on the shelves, so that was a big goose egg there. But I think I'm going to grab myself a coffee before heading home. But there were some things I was going to tell you. Hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Oh my God, my belly is so full. It hurts. It's like it's distended. I could test it like I'm testing a watermelon at the grocery store. Oh my God, it was so good though. Oh, so worth it. So I'm sitting here in the parking lot at Black Bear getting ready to leave, and I'm looking at this turquoise sky with these white fluffy clouds, so pretty. And there's this yellow airplane shooting across the sky, so pretty. I love our airline's livery. I think it's very, very pretty, that yellow against the blue. So pretty. A bunch of you have asked me what I thought about this merger, this acquisition by JetBlue, and I am unhappy about it. I don't want it to happen. I don't know many people in my company who do want it to happen. I've met maybe 3 or 4 people, maybe more. Most of them are pilots. I think they're going to get a better deal out of it than the flight attendants. No surprise. I think I've only met 2 flight attendants who have been like looking forward to it. But I just don't want the change. I don't want anything to change. I like my job. I love my job. I love my airline. I like how it is. I like my life. I don't want huge changes, upheaval everywhere. I just don't want it. We did get an email from our union giving us a general idea, not a timeline, so to speak, but what's going to have to happen before things really change. And so if it's approved by the DOJ, this is going to be January. They're going to start probably trying to get together a single certificate for the airline rather than working as two. They'll work as one. They're going to have to continue to operate separately. This, I don't know, until things can be ironed out, like getting the aircraft to work together to make sure that we have all been trained on the different equipment, because there's going to be differences training for the different equipment, different announcements and standards and all sorts of stuff. And then we're going to have to, flight attendants will have to agree on a union. We'll have to vote on that. I don't know who they have as a union. We have the AFA, very strong union. And I suspect that the JetBlue folks will switch over to AFA. I don't know for sure. I hope they would. The AFA has very strong protections for us in terms of this merger. So we shouldn't be screwed by this. Mergers have not always been easy. In fact, I think the whole Continental United thing is there's still repercussions from an unfortunate merger there. They're still talking about it. The seniority list, they've said they should match it. They should merge it by bidding seniority. So my seniority should still be fairly good, moderate to good at JetBlue than it is with my airline. Right now in my base, I am 250 out of 1,000. So like my bidding seniority is pretty good in base. And I think that won't really change a lot. We'll see what happens. Because if it does come together and we do merge, there's going to be a lot of people, senior people, I think, might transfer here to Vegas. But then we'll be able to transfer to other places. Like, I will never transfer to Boston. I will never live in Boston again because I can't afford it. Boston's so expensive. But that would be one of the few things I would look forward to. With JetBlue, we'd have a broader arrangement. We have more destinations, more interesting destinations. I think we'd have that as an option. They would have to reconfigure the inside of the aircraft, and we'd have more pitch between our seats. That would be nice for our passengers. But we'd have to agree on union. And then once that happens, they would agree to merge the seniority lists, and then things should start to happen. So it'll take a couple years for this to happen no matter what. I just don't have any choice on it. I don't. Clearly, I have no power, but I can't go anywhere. A lot of people have said, hey, Stephen, you belong at Southwest, or you should go to my airline, or blah, blah, blah. I can't go anywhere. I am not going through training again. That broke me. Training is easier these days. If you're being hired for my airline, you got it good. You got it good, because they've changed a lot, and I can't say a word about it, but they've changed training. It's not as hard as it used to be. So you're welcome. It's frustrating, actually, how they've changed it, because I have my opinions there. What was I going to say? I'm off on a tangent. So I'm not happy about it happening. So there's that. What else is I going to tell you? Oh, my vacation. So I have been on vacation for a week. I've been on vacation for a week today, and I have gone nowhere. I had a bag packed. I have a giant eBags. I think it's called the eBags Mother Load. It's like a backpack suitcase kind of soft-sided thing with my snorkeling gear, clothes, undies, all sorts of stuff. I had plans on going to Key West because there was no hurricane. Well, so I was home for a couple of days. I had made arrangements to head down to Key West, and then I saw a tropical storm heading towards that area, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to turn into a hurricane the day before I get there. I know it will. Ooh, that breakfast again. And then the government shut down. The government was going to shut down. Literally, the last minute, it didn't. But I didn't want to go across the country, the other side of the country, and then have the government shut down just as I was about to head back to Las Vegas. I just didn't want it to happen because I didn't want to get stranded literally on the East Coast. So there's enough things that I just didn't want to risk being left or stranded or having just a horrible time. I don't travel well for leisure. Professionally, I'm great, but leisurely, I'm just not a great leisure traveler. So I decided to stay home and have just a relaxing time. So for a week, all I've done was play Starfield. You knew that was coming. I've played Starfield for probably 10 hours a day. That I was going to say that's an exaggeration. It's probably not. Hang out with the cats, cuddle, take naps, eat, relax, do nothing. And it's been so nice. I honestly was feeling a little guilty that I didn't really make the most of this whole past vacation week. But honestly, I just needed to not be working for a week. Because as much as I love my job, I was getting very tense at moments that are unusual for me. So I needed the time off anyway. But now I have another 6 days off from here. So what are my plans? I'm not going to Key West now. I'm not going to fly all the way there to have really one day in Key West. So I'm probably going to stay home in Las Vegas, but I'm thinking I'll make a couple road trips. I'm thinking of tomorrow taking a little bit of a road trip, and it's probably a 2-hour drive out there and then back. So I might do that. I'll tell you where I'm going tomorrow because Vlogtober, but I'm thinking of taking a road trip. Maybe I'll do another one. And there's a couple little topics I want to talk about maybe on the days off before I go. And then I start a trip. So I think that's it for now. If anything else happens, I will share that and include that in this video. But for the time being, I'm going to consider this a done deal. And I'll say fly safe and thank you for watching. But if I keep on with this video, keep watching. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Bye. Fly safe. So there is something I forgot to tell you. I got an email from Diane saying, "Are you okay?" I hadn't posted a video in like 8 days, so she was just checking in on me to see if I was okay, because that's a long time between videos for me these days. Well, I did create a video. I did actually make a video about a 3-day trip I worked before my vacation week. And I did not post it for public viewing because it was not a good video. It was not a good video. It was a relatively short video because it was a short trip. But it started off the first minute. I just watching it, I watched the first minute of it and I went, no, can't keep this. This is not good. There was a Bentley, that very expensive car, kind of flew past me to catch a red light in front of me, of course, right? And I was like, oh, this, on camera, I'm like, oh, this Bentley, this rented Bentley, hair flip. And I'm like, I'm driving a Honda HR-V, and here I am making fun of someone renting a Bentley, right? And that was the tone that I restarted the video off on. And then I worked a 3-day trip as a chaser, and it was one of the most unpleasant trips I've ever worked. There were a number of headbuttings. I tried to keep my ego in check and push it down so I didn't, because I can be a lot. If I feel like I'm being threatened or if I'm really wildly unhappy, I can act out verbally, and it's not pleasant for anybody. And it was an unpleasant trip, and I made sure in every video clip that I filmed for that video that you knew how unhappy I was. And none of it is one-sided. None of it was one-sided. So I was really painting everybody with the ugly brush. And it's not that I was editing out me being unpleasant. It just was not something that you all needed to hear. And a bunch of my coworkers watched this video, and I'll tell you, a number of them are busybodies. And the first thing they'd be doing is going into crew chat, going, oh, tap, 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 who is he working with? And I just don't need it. and no one does. So yeah, I did not post the video because it just wasn't appropriate. Had I really been myself and tried to check my own ego before, filming it, I would have posted the video, but it was not a healthy representation of anybody at any point in those 3 days. So I did not post that video. What else? Oh, lastly, before I let you go, have you noticed my beard? I'm crying inside about my beard. So I was going to go snorkeling in Key West, and I have 2 different types of masks I was going to try. I have a traditional mask that I could not wear because of my mustache, but I followed the advice of a lot of snorkelers, and I trimmed a little bit right under my nose, right here. And now I feel like Gomez and the Addams Family. It doesn't look disfigured, but it just feels very, very strange. So I trimmed under here to test the mask out. It worked, but it feels very strange. And then I have a full face mask, which literally covers your whole face. You can actually breathe through your mouth and your nose. And I trimmed my beard on the sides, creating this Van Dyke or this goatee, so that I could wear that full face mask just in case. To try to see which mask I preferred, and then I didn't go snorkeling. So I'm left with a goatee Van Dyke thing, which really allows my jaw. I have like my jawline has disappeared. It's becoming this like mashed potatoes inside a CVS bag. That's what my face feels like right here. I want a facelift. I want a jawline again. So all I can see is this on the sides, and I'm just really wildly unhappy with it. So I'm growing back my beard as fast as possible. But those are the only things I forgot to tell you on this whole video of monologues. So this is hopefully the longest video of all of my videos for Vlogmas, because it's like going to be a half-hour long now. Blah, blah, blah. Does he ever stop talking? I will right now. All right? Done. I will see you tomorrow. Fly safe. Bye.